excuse the fact that my house is a mess, I'm a mess, I look like a mess, my life is a mess. I should be mindful of the things I put out into the universe, but I'd be remiss to not acknowledge the fact that it looks like a hot mess in here. I'm going through a lot of emotions. It's not a good excuse as to why I haven't posted in over a week. Needless to say, I do feel like a hypocrite. I do feel like a liar. I feel unreliable and untrustworthy because I had told the internet that I was going to post a video every single day. And here we are almost 11 days later, and I haven't done diddly squat. And these same sentiments that I have, that I assume viewers would be having of me, I'm having the same thoughts about myself to myself. Because before I made the promise to the internet, I had made the promise to myself that I was going to post every day and show up for myself every day. And ultimately, I haven't done diddly squat other than come up with a medley of excuses as to why I don't need to do the things that I know are the right thing for me to do. I can sit down and blame heartbreak, right? It's been officially over a month since me and my ex parted ways. And we actually spoke a little bit this morning for the first time in ages. And it's a very honest conversation. It was very productive. It's very mature. And ultimately, we recognized and agreed that there is no semblance or glimmer of hope at any sort of recovery or reconciliation of our relationship due to the amount of pain that we inflicted on one another. Not only does that go against the promise that we had made towards one another of not purposely hurting each other, but it left so much irreparable damage that there's no way that our relationship would be special anymore. It would always be tainted in some way. And although I am mature enough to agree and understand that, I'm still selfish enough to be heartbroken about it. And a very toxic part of me just wants to let bygones be bygones and say, well, screw it. If we both still love and care about each other, then why not continue giving it a shot? But I understand how immature that is. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't experiencing the pain of the breakup all over again. Because for a good chunk of it, there was a stage of denial. And then there was nothing but anger that fueled probably the past month of my life. And then only recently have I started to reminisce on the relationship and acknowledge not only where he went wrong, but also where I went wrong. And now instead of anger, I just feel sadness. And I know that acceptance is right around the corner. And I can't help but think I'm having a little combination of it right now. But the underlying fear or tone that I'm walking away though with is fear. And yeah, so that's my long-winded way of saying my bad for not posting in a while. I've been dealing with a lot up here and in here, and it's just not been fun, fresh, or wow. But yeah, I'm not going to continue to let this fear dictate my life. I understand that fear doesn't come from God, and I'm trying to get back on track with my relationship with God. And I am nervous about coming off as like a Bible-banging YouTuber who's trying to promote God down your throat. What you do with your life is completely and utterly up to you. I do not care. As long as it's not affecting me or my loved ones, have at it. Live your life. But as far as my life is concerned, a big core of who I am is being raised in a very religious household, very Baptist upbringing, and that same kind of mentality has followed me through life. And although I don't subscribe to religion in a traditional sense anymore, it's not for lack of trying, and it's not because I don't necessarily believe in organized religion. It's just that I would be remiss to say that in this day and age, my generation is just growing up in a very new age type of world where it is easy to step back and recognize like, oh, this church put a lot into sales, put a lot into marketing, put a lot into propaganda, and church is a business, and They're trying to recruit clients into the church rather than having God at the center. They're putting business at the center and the greed of their own pocket. And it's getting harder and harder to find a church that doesn't subscribe to that type of mentality. But then the more traditional ones are so traditional that they don't leave any room for nuance. Especially with me being in like the Bible Belt of the South. Everything is very traditional or very new age. And I'm just trying to find something that kind of like complements right in the middle. And showcases God's grace, yes, and that you can become better through God, yes, but that there are still a very standard set of rules to live by in order to be in accordance with God's plan. So, all of that to say, while I may not be religious, I am very spiritual. I have dabbled with other forms of spirituality, whether it's just jumping ship to like Buddhism or Hinduism or Judaism or whatever else ism, or playing with the occult and like doing little tarot cards or fortune tellers or getting my aura read at some spirit convention or a bunch of garbage that I'm sure my mom would have a heart attack if she understood what I was saying. But what always reigns true is this little doohickey right here. Like every single time without fail, if I have a question, Bible. If I need direction, Bible. If I'm unsure of what to do, Bible. If I need reassurance, Bible. And I understand the flack that the Bible gets, right? It was written so many years ago. It's been translated over and over, but it's still historically accurate, and it still lines up with a translation that of like what 1000 or 2000 BC or whatever the daylights it is. I'm not a museum lady, but it's a good moral compass, if nothing else. And I've been using that to kind of cope, specifically the past few days. And I'm ashamed to admit that even though I've been making videos for over a decade of my life here privately on YouTube, I don't share my experience with God enough. And the reason I guess it brings me shame is because I see the hand of God through the years in all of my videos. And I never once say thanks to God. I don't. I'm not proud of that. And I want to start making that more of a focus. And in putting God as a focus, yes, a lot of my fears are going to subside. But I feel like I'm going to be put back on track on my purpose. And look, as corny as it sounds, I know that my purpose is making YouTube videos. Why? No idea. What am I supposed to be posting? God knows. But I've always felt in my heart that I'm just supposed to be talking on the internet. And whether it's to serve as a role model or to serve as what not to do or to serve as companionship or to serve as testimony or as witness to God, I don't know. But I'm just trying to line up with that. And at the end of the day, the better I do that, the more I'm going to align with my husband, fam. And all the fear of like, oh, will I ever be in love again? That goes out the window. I'm going to find my husband. The more I align with God, the more I'm going to find my husband, because my husband's going to be a God-fearing man, whether he admits to it or not. The way he acts, the way he portrays himself, the way he carries himself is going to be aligned with God. And that's the other gripe I think a lot of people have with organized religion is the threat to their autonomy, thinking that they're going to have to give up their way of living simply to adhere to a set of rules written by some spaghetti god, right? When it couldn't be further from the truth. Like the 10 Commandments and like the wisdom that's spilled through the Bible, most people do anyway. Most people would consider to be part of their core values and morals and beliefs. I think the follow-up gripe is the consequences that come from not adhering to these set standards, commandments, rules, decrees, whatever you want to call them. But you get consequences to your actions all the time anyway. And they're called out in the Bible. So, but even if my future husband, like, I meet him and he's like, oh, I'm agnostic or I'm an atheist or whatever, as long as he has the values of what I'm looking for in a godly man, I'm straight. Someone who's respectful, someone who is selfless, someone who is kind, someone who is loving, someone who puts others first, someone who is a provider and a protector. And yeah, you understand what I'm saying? If I align with God, God will align the rest for me. That's it. And I'm not trying to preach that so that you all of a sudden start picking up your Bible. If you do, great, find some direction. But that's what I'm doing. And that's what I'm going to keep trying to do. Because anytime I try to make a video about anything else or try to make a decision in life that is ego focused or just not focused on the right things, or my priorities are skewed, life gets hard. Life gets hard. So here's to putting God at the center of my life, at the center of this YouTube channel. We might have to pivot from showing off my yoga routine or my workout routine. Because ultimately, when I first started this YouTube channel, it was to Giselle 365, where every day I give you a glimpse into my life. And maybe that's exactly what I need to get back to doing. We can do some Bible studies, we can talk about life, we can talk about where I am in my journey. Sorry I'm coming off so cranky, but like, I've already cried so much today. I just feel motivated to get my life together. And I wanted to apologize for not posting. I wanted to take accountability for not posting, and I wanted to give you a heads up as to what's going on and what my direction is moving forward. And that is to read my Bible, become a lady of God, and become aligned with the type of person God wants me to be, and not focusing on fear. That's all I'm good at doing right now. Sorry, this video is all over the place. Every time I try to plan and sit down, I get like very in my head and everything has to be perfect and said a certain way and transitions matter and blah, blah, blah. Word vomit, baby. Yeah. Anyway, today is January 20th, 2K25. So happy Monday, you beautiful people. If you like this video at all, please make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, all of that good jazz. Know that I love you with all of my heart, and I will catch you in my next video.